Muli magandang araw po. Magandang umaga, magandang tanghali, magandang hapon, magandang gabi. Okay, depende kung anong oras yung pinapanood yung video na ito. Pero ayan, nagbabalik po tayo sa ating college entrance test review. Okay, for statistics and probability. Muli ako po si Sir Arvin Bautista, ang inyo pong naging lecturer sa geometry, and ngayon patuloy tayo sa ating statistics and probability. So once again, bigyan lang natin ulit ng overview na saan na ba tayo sa ating review for statistics and probability. So for our first video, we discuss about the counting techniques and combinatorics together with the probability concepts and logic. Okay? So ayan. Now we'll be dealing with the data representation and analysis for our review for today. And that would include, okay, topics about mean, median mode, range, interquartile range, okay, standard deviation, variance, and some problems regarding data, yung mga tables, charts, and graphs natin. I'll also give you some, okay, for this review session. So, ayan. So, katulad ng ginawa natin sa first video compared to the geometry, ngayon, mas marami na tayong mga questions kasi sa statistics nga po, sinabi ko naman na sa unang video, it's already been discussed to you during your ngayong senior high school, during your grade 11, okay? Or yung iba would take it during grade 12. Pero, ayan, nadaanan na kasi siya, kaya mas ano na tayo, mas question-based na tayo, konting review na lang to sa other concepts, okay? So, ayan. So, now, let's proceed na with our discussion. Pasensya na si Sir Arvin talaga ay medyo madaldal. Okay? So, ayan. So, for the first part of the data representation and analysis topic, okay, we have the measures of central tendency. Ito yung magtotropang 3Ms. Okay? So, para saan nga ba si central tendency? So, sabi dito that central tendencies in statistics are numerical values na kung saan that represents usually the middle or the typical value of a data set. Kaya po, ayan, minsan yung iba nagtataka, Sir, bakit pinapahanap yung middle value? Bakit ang ginamit niya mean? Eh, di ba ang middle dun sa tatlo, sa mean, median, at mode, ay yung ating pong median. Bakit po si mean po yung ginamit? Kasi nga po, kung babalikan natin, okay, yung definition itself, that for the measures of central tendencies, lahat po sila ay may kakayahang i-represent yung middle. Okay? Or yung typical value nga po ng ating dataset. Okay? So, ayan siya. Dito lang, ayan din, tinatawag din siyang averages. O, sir, once again, Sir, bakit ganun? Eh, si mean, di ba, yun yung average. So, yung median and mode po ba, pwede rin gamitin to represent the average? Pwede rin po. Okay? Depende po kasi yan, pagdating natin sa higher math, depende po yan sa klase ng data na ibibigay sa inyo. Okay? Kasi hindi po lagi pag ang hinahanap ay yung average, okay, hindi po laging si mean yung ginagamit, sadly. Okay? Kasi meron tayong tinatawag na outliers. So, kapag OA, yung outliers dun sa data na binigay sa'yo, sometimes mas maganda gamitin to give the average. Sometimes we'll use median. Okay? Kasi, for example, yung grades mo, lahat line of 9, tapos biglang may isang line of 7. Okay? Di ba pag average, ang laking hatak. Tama ba? Ang laking hatak nung line of 7 na yun pag kinuha mo yung average mo. Okay? Pag ang average, gagamitin mo si mean, ang laking hatak nun. So, there are statisticians na depende sa hinihingi ng problema, would use median to give you the average. Okay? So, yun po. Okay? So, sabi nga kasi dito, they are essential. Okay? They're essential for large data sets. Okay po. So, ayan, magdedepende na rin po kasi talaga. Pero, yan. Ngayon, wala naman tayo sa higher math. Hindi naman higher math yung pinag-uusapan natin. So, we'll stick with the definition of the mean, median, and mode. Okay? Pupuntahan natin siya isa-isa. So, ngayon, ayan. So, ito, familiar naman siguro tayo dito, di ba? Okay? Diyan sa ating normal curve or sa ating tinatawag na bell curve. Okay? So, nandyan si mean, median, at mode. Depende kung anong klase ng distribution yung meron. Di ba sabi ko sa inyo kanina na central tendencies is used to get the middle. Okay, balikan natin yung definition. The middle or the typical value of the data set. Then sabi ko rin kanina, pwedeng gamitin si mean, median, and mode. Both of the three of them can be used to determine the middle one. Bakit? Kasi kung mapansin niyo ito nasa gitna po natin na diagram, si mean, median, at mode are equal pala kapag ganyang klase ng distribution yung meron. Okay? So, ayan. Kaya sinabi kanina na kahit ano naman sa tatlo, pwedeng gamitin. Nandun lang yung premise or nandun lang yung condition na depende po siya sa klase ng dataset na ibibigay po sa atin. Okay po? So, ngayon, puntahan na natin si mean. Ano ba? Si mean po ay general term siya na ginagamit used for the arithmetic mean of the data. Okay? Kasi may iba pa tayong klase ng mean. Meron tayong tinatawag na geometric mean at meron tayong tinatawag na harmonic mean. And yan tatlong po yan, yung arithmetic, yung geometric, at itong harmonic mean. Pare-pares man po silang mean pero they use the different formulas po. May iba't iba pong formula yan. And ang pinaka-familiar po tayo at ang discuss din po natin for today would be the arithmetic mean. Kasi si geometric at si harmonic mean po ay hindi po siya lumalabas. Hindi naman siguro 100, kasi we're talking about statistics and probability. Hindi naman 100% na hindi siya lalabas or 0% yung chance na lumabas si harmonic tsaka si geometric. Pero yun nga, we'll focus more on kung ano yung lumalabas sa mga college entrance tests and sa mga scholarships exams po ninyo. Kasi yun naman yung pinaprepare natin. So, we'll talk about the arithmetic mean more. Okay? So, for the arithmetic mean, it is the most common type of average. It is obtained by, i-add natin lahat ng observation or lahat ng data na meron tayo. Then, we divide it by the number of total observations. So, it gives a simple average value representing the whole or the entire data set. So, ayan po ang ating arithmetic mean in formula. X bar is equal to the summation of the x sub I divided by the capital letter N. Ano si x sub I? So, ibig sabihin lang po niyan, these are the different observations. So, depende kung hanggang ilan. So, x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, hanggang kung ilang x sub n man yan. Okay? So, we'll just add those datas. Okay? Add all the data na meron, then divide it by n, capital letter N, meaning these are the total number of observations that we have. So, let's now proceed. So, for the question, a student obtained scores of 85, 92, 88, and 95 in 4 science long test. Ano daw po ang arithmetic mean of the student's score? Nilagay ko na muna dito yung word na arithmetic para medyo clear lang tayo. Pero, usually naman, pag tinanong yung mean, ganun pa rin naman po yun. Okay? So, ayan, konting daldal si sir para mag-solve kayo. Or if you want to, you may pause the video. Okay? Once again, gusto natin mas interactive or mas nagpa-participate kayo even though it is an asynchronous na pagtuturo. So, ayan. So, ngayon, let's have paano ba kukunin ang ating arithmetic mean? So, x bar is equal to, okay, we have 85, 92, 88, and 95. So, we have 85 plus 92 plus 88 plus 95 divided by 4. Bakit 4? Kasi meron siyang 4 na long test. Tama? Sa science. So, we have the 85, the 92, the 88, and another 95. So, kung tutusin, medyo matalinong bata. Okay? So, divided by 4. So, we have here, pag inad lahat din nasa taas, we have 360 divided by 4. That would be equal to 90 as the average. Okay? Or the arithmetic mean. Sana naman wala nagkamali dito ha. Tayo ay nasa basic pa. And once again, paalala lang po, as much as possible, Do not use calculators kasi pagdating po sa mga entrance exams, sa mga scholarship exams, hindi naman po kayo pinagdadala ng calcu. So, ayan, try natin na isolve. Ano bang technique ginagamit natin pag nagsosolve ng ganito? Ako ang ginagawa ko, if I can, kasi di ba yung iba sunod-sunod lang sila mag-add. Ako ang ginagawa ko, I'll try to check yung mga numbers na magsasarado. Anong meaning ko magsasarado? For example, yung 92 tsaka 88, pag pinag-add ko yan, yung 8 nito tsaka yung 2 nito, magsasarado yan, magiging 0. Tama? So, 0 yan. So, plus 1. So, 9 plus 9 na yung magiging atake kasi yung 8, yung sa 88, yung 8 na unahan, magpa-plus 1 ka na dyan. So, magiging 9 yan. So, 9 plus yung 9 dito sa harap ng 92, that's 18. Okay, so 118. Next, etong 5 nito, tsaka 5 nito, pag pinag-add mo, magsasarado yan, magiging 0. So, magpa-plus 1 ka na lang ulit dito. Okay, so may 18 din yan. So, mag-a-add ka na ng 360. Tapos, divided by 4 na lang po. Okay? So, ayan. Ako ganun ako mag-add. Si Sir kasi hindi naman sobrang kabilisan mag-solve talaga. Yan yung number one na weakness ko pagdating sa math. Hindi ako yung pag sinabihan mo na, okay, Arvin, add mo yung ganito, ganito, ganyan. Tapos mabibigay ko agad sa inyo. Hindi. Hindi ako ganong klase ng, estudyante. And ng teacher, hanggang ngayon naman, alam niyo ng mga estudyante ko. Pero yun lang, pagdating kasi sa exam, hindi naman yan pabilisan. I mean, time is essential pagdating po sa exam. That's very important. Pero kung mamadaliin mo naman at magkakamali ka sa pagmamadaling yon, magkakamali ka rin po. So, you take your time, okay, na mag-solve, pero be mindful of the time as well. Okay, wag naman sobrang tagal. Kaya ngayon, may mga ganyan tayong klase ng techniques na ginagamit para bumilis. Okay? So next, a student has an average score of 82 on their first four science exams. If they want to raise their overall average to 85 after the fifth exam, what score must they achieve on that final test? So dito, anong meron dun sa problem? Dito, binigyan ka ng average score na 82. Ano yung 82? Ito yung average mo for four exams. Okay? So, sa apat na exam, meron kang 82. Okay? Na average. Then, kailangan daw yung final overall average mo after 5 exams, kailangan maging 85. So, ano bang gagawin mo dito para mangyari ito? So, ano yung hinahanap? Ano yung magiging score mo dun sa final test or sa final exam na meron kayo para maging 85 yon? So, paano ba kukuhanin? Paano ba kukuhanin yung atin pong um, final test score? So, ganon, represent muna natin si final test score as X. So, di ba pag kukuha tayo ng average, ano ba formula dyan? X bar is equal to the summation of X sub I all over N. Di ba ganyan yung formula niyan? Okay? So ngayon, kaso hindi naman natin siya pwedeng gamitin. Bakit? Kasi ang ginagawa na natin dito or hinahanap na natin po dito ay yung mismong final exam lang. Binigyan ka na nila ng average. So ngayon, tong average na to nandito sa labas, gawin natin siyang 85 kasi yun naman yung goal natin, di ba? Mag-average siya ng 85. Then, divide by, ilan yung total na exam na meron? Yung N. Meron tayong 5. Tama? Okay? Then, ganito. Dahil binigyan ka ng average of 82 for the first 4 exams, ang ginagawa natin dyan, ilan yung exam? 4. Ano yung average? 82. So, ang gagawin mo, 4 times 82 na lang siya. Okay? 4 times 82. Plus X. Bakit plus X? Kasi yung panglima, hindi mo pa alam. Okay? Yung panglima, hindi mo pa alam yung score, kaya ka nag-plus X. Okay po? So, ayan. Ano nang gagawin natin? So, syempre, hanapin natin yung value ni X. Ito, cross-multiply mo na papunta dito. Okay? So, ano nga ba ang 85 times 5? That would be 425 is equal to 4 times 82 plus X. Okay? Eh, ano yung 4 times 82? O, compute. Okay? 4 times 82 would give you 328 tapos plus x. Then, dahil si x yung hinahanap natin, si x dapat mag-isa, walang katabi, walang kasama. Si 328, lipat mo sa kabila. From positive 328, magiging negative 328. So, we have here 425 minus 328 is equal to x. Okay? So, we have 425 minus 320. That would give us a 97. Okay? So, 97 is equal to x. Okay? So, you try to check kapag nga ba nag-97 siya sa final exam niya, magiging 85 nga ba yung average? Okay? So, ayan. So, paano siya i-double check? Pwede nyo gawin yung 4 times 82 plus 97. So, dito. Ito. Ito din sa first nating equation. Substitute nyo dito si x. Okay, yung 97. Substitute nyo dun sa x doon. Okay, kailangan mag-equal siya kay 85. Yung 4 times 82 plus 97, tapos pag divide mo by 5, kailangan mag-equal siya sa 85 para masabing tama yung sagot. Sir, paano ka nag-come up with 4 times 82? Okay? Paano tayo nag-come up with the 4 times 82? So, kasi sabi, lapat niyo yan. Yung 4 times 82, lapat natin siya dun sa formula ng pagkuha ng average. So, si 82, that would be the average. Diba? Yun naman yung sabi. So, gamitin natin to nandito. So, 82 is equal to, okay? Ilan yung nag-exam? Diba? 4. Okay? Ang hinahanap natin is yung summation ng x sub I. Okay? So, ayan, cross multiply ko lang yan papunta dito. So pag cross multiply mo yan, magiging 4 times 82 is equal to the summation of x sub I. Okay? Nakuha mo na yung summation of x sub I. Yun na lang yung nilagay mo dito. Okay po? So, ayun lang naman siya. Yun lang yung explanation behind it. I mean, hindi nyo naman kailangan sobrang magamay yung explanation behind it. Kasi, once again, we're preparing you for the exam. So, pag may gantong problem, binigyan ka ng average for the first 4 exam or first 5 exam, pero ang hinahanap yung pang 6 na exam, or yung next pa, okay, yung magpa-plus 1 pa dun sa binigay sa'yo, okay? So, gawin mo lang yon. Na kung ilan yung binigay na exam, first 4 exam, minultiply mo dun sa average, which is 82. Okay po? So, ganun lang siya kukunin. So, our answer in here, once again, that is 97. X is equal to 97. Okay po? So, ayan. I hope naintindihan. Kung hindi, alam nyo na ang technique dyan. Ano lang, back lang kayo na 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute. Okay? Pwede nyo pang bagalan siguro yung video. Okay po? So, ayan. I hope you'll get it sa pangalawa or kung ilang mampanood. So, ayan. Pero I hope sana nakuha na natin sa una. Next, the arithmetic mean of a set of 7 distinct integers is 24. If the mean of the first 4 integers is 20, what is the arithmetic mean of the remaining 3 integers? Okay? So, dito, arithmetic mean ng buong 7, set of 7 distinct integers is 24. Tama? Then, the first 4 daw ay may 20. Hinahanap yung arithmetic mean of the remaining 3 integers. Okay? So, gamitin ulit natin yung kaninang ginawa natin. So, ang mangyayari, anong formula ng mean? Arithmetic mean is equal to the summation of, tingnan nyo. Dito, hatiin natin. Summation ng first 4 muna, plus the summation of the next 3. Ay, sorry, ba't nilagyan ko na x? Okay? Bakit ko siya hinati sa first 3 at sa next 3? Kasi yung first 4, okay? Sorry. Ba't natin siya hinati dun sa first 4 tsaka sa next 3? Okay? Ayusin ko nga lang. Ba't ba kasi pangit ng sulat ko? Okay? So, ayan. Pasensya na. So, summation of the next 3. The first 4 and the next 3. Divided by 7 naman sila lahat, di ba? Kasi 7 yan eh. Okay? So, ayan yung ginamit kong formula. Bakit yan yung ginamit ko? Kasi, doon sa first 4, binigyan ka ng 20 na mean. So, pwede natin gamitin yung ginamit natin kanina. Yun sa, katulad nito, yun sa first 4 science exams, meron siyang average of 82. Anong ginawa natin? Minultiply natin si 82 kay 4. Okay? So, pwede natin siyang gamitin, the same logic, pwede natin gamitin dito, kaya ko siya hinati. So, ano ba yung arithmetic mean noong 7? Sabi, 24. So, nasa labas si 24 is equal to summation ng first 4. Ano ginagawa natin doon? Dahil first 4 siya, 4, ano yung average ng first 4? We have 20. Plus, okay, we have here the next 3, pero wala kang summation nung next 3 na yon, so we can have it as x. Okay? Kasi wala naman silang binigay nung mean nung tatlo eh. Wala silang binigay, so let's have it as x. Kasi yun nga yung pinapahanap sa atin, yung mean ng tatlo. So, divided by 7. Oh, the thing that we have to do, cross multiply here, papunta kay 24. So, 24 times 7, that would give us 168 is equal to 4 times 20. Multiply na natin. 4 times 20, that would be 80 plus 3x. Tama? So, si 80, lipat natin sa kabila. From positive 80, magiging negative 80. So, we have 168 minus 80. That would give us 88. Okay? So, ayan siya. Okay? Then, si 3x na lang yung natitirang nandito. Tama po? O, tandaan natin ha, ano si x? Si x po yung mean nung tatlo. O, bakit naging mean yung x, sir? Okay? Ito, mean nung tatlo. Kasi, itong 20, ito yung mean nung 4. Tama po? Yan yung mean nung 4 according to the problem. Ito, oh. Ayan, oh. The mean of the first 4 integers is 20. Okay? So, we have now 88 is equal to 3x. So, we divide both sides by 3. Ay, sorry. Yun sa ink. Okay? So, magkakaroon tayo. Cancel si 3 dito. Matitira si x. So, x is equal to 88 divided by 3. So, 88 divided by 3, that is roughly 29.33. Okay? So, 29.33. Okay? To check that, pwede naman natin siyang i-check. Liitan natin tong sulat. Sorry. Para makapag-check tayo, ha? Mag-adjust ako dito na ng konti. Okay. Sulat ko pa rin siya. Bali, 88 is equal to 3x. So, divide both sides by 3. Cancel, cancel. So, we have here x is equal to 29.33. Okay? So, how could we check? So, pwede nating ilapat si 29.33 dito kay x dito. Pwede nyo yung ilapat dyan. Bakit? Ano mangyayari? We have 24 is equal to, okay, 4 times 20 plus 3 times, pwede nga ang gamitin nyo dito para hindi kayo mahirapan mag-check, 88 over 3. Okay? Instead of 29.33. Kasi kapag 29.33, baka mahirapan pa kayo mag-check, mag-multiply. Okay? Gamitin natin si 88.3. Ito naman siya, di ba? Divided by 7. Bakit ko sinabing mas madali? Kasi may times 3 ka sa labas, so ang mangyayari, cancel to, cancel din to nasa fraction. So, ang mangyayari, we have 24 is equal to 4 times 20, that's 80, plus 88 over 7. Bakit naging 88 na lang siya? Kasi di ba nga, kinancel mo yung dalawang 3. So, 88 plus 80, that is 168. Tama? So, you have now 24 is equal to 168 divided by 7. Eh, ang 168 divided by 7 is also 24. Okay? So, 24 is equal to 24. Therefore, our answer is correct. Okay po? So, ayan siya. So, I hope nakuha natin yan. May mga ganyang problem kasi, students, na hindi lang po basta, ang tawag dito, hindi lang basta mean yung pinapahanap. Ang pinapahanap minsan ay yung mga data or ang pinapahanap yung mean nung unang tatlo, pangalawang dalawa, okay, yung apat, ganun yung mga pinapahanap. So, hindi siya laging, find the average. Hindi. Kasi, di ba, medyo madali yun. Okay? So, expect natin na medyo mahirap. Sa review natin, paulit-ulit nyo itong maririnig from us. Okay? Or marirealize. Now, we are preparing you guys for the worst. Ano yung sinasabi namin we are preparing you for the worst? Kasi kahit sa civil service, sinasabi ko sa kanila to. Ituturo ko sa inyo yung pinakamahihirap or tuturuan ko kayo ng mahihirap na problem para pagdating po doon sa mismong exam, mamaniin nyo na lang siya kasi possible, mas madali yung lalabas. Okay na mas stress kayo sa review. Basta paglabas dapat ng exam results, kailangan masaya kayo, nakangiti kayo. Kasi alam nyong pasado kayo, mapa-exam man yan for college entrance test or for scholarship exams. Okay po? So, ayan. So, dito, nag-decide akong isama na lang din kasi meron din tayong mga tinatawag na group data. So, may mga naghahanap din tayo ng mean for the group data. So, with your statistics and probability na i-discuss naman ito. So, dito, ayan, may kita nyo, medyo nagbago lang yung formula ng mean. So, naging x bar is equal to the summation of x sub I times the f sub I or the frequency divided by the total number of the data. Okay? So, paano nga ba siya ginagawa? Konting ano lang to, refresh lang to ha, kasi sa stats na ituro naman. So, find the expected value or the mean of the age that answer a specific survey. Ito rin, students, when you hear the word expected value, tumutukoy po yan kay average, kay mean. Okay? Hindi na kailangan pang sabihin pa, okay, yung exact word na mean or yung exact word na average. Pag sinabi pong expected value, si mean po yun. Okay? So, ayan. For example, this one. Okay? So, ano ba yung formula? The x bar or the mean is equal to the summation of x sub I, f sub I all over the n. So, dito, yung x sub I natin, wala pa. Bakit? Kasi range yung binigay. 16 and 18. Ano bang ginagawa natin to get the mean? Okay? Paano ba ginagawa ang pagkuha ng mean? So, anong gagawin natin dito? You get the middle. Okay? So, to get for the x, you get the middle of the two. 16 and 18. So, anong gagawin po ninyo? So, 16 plus 18, that would be 34. Sulat natin dito sa baba. 16 plus 18 divided by 2. So, that's 34 divided by 2. That would be 17. Okay? So, ayan. Dugtungan natin to para mas madali. Okay? So, ayan siya. So, si 19, si 21, mapapansin anong sagot would be 20. 22 and 24, that would be 23. Then, we have 25 to 27, that's 26. 28 to 30, that's 29. Kinukuha lang po natin yung nasa gitna po nila. Okay? Next. Once again, the formula that we have is the mean is equal to the summation of x sub I times f sub I all over the n. So, ngayon, kunin na natin yung x sub I, f sub I. Paano natin yan kukunin? Multiply nyo lang po yung frequency tsaka itong mga x na nakuha natin. Okay? Multiply nyo lang yan. Ay, sorry. Baka hindi kayang isulat. Wait, tamburahin ko. Okay? So, we have here 10 times 17. That's 170. Tama? 8 times 20. That's 160. 11 times 23. Tama ba? 11 times 23, that is 253. Okay? We have 14 times 26. That would give us 364. Lastly, we have 17 plus times 29. That would give us 493. Okay? O, ano pang kailangan nating malaman? Nakuha na natin. Add natin to. Yung 170 plus 160 plus 253 plus 364 plus 493. O, dali, bigyan ko kayo ng oras to add those numbers. Okay? So, ayan, once again, kung nafe-feel nyo na pressure kayo sa pag-solve ni Sir, you may pause the video. Okay? Pause nyo lang po yung video, then balik kayo kapag okay na, na-solve nyo na. Once again, that's 170 plus 160 plus 253 plus 364 plus 493. That would give you 140. 1,440. Sorry. Bakit ayaw sumulat? Ayan. Oh, may nakuha na natin itong nasa taas. So, x bar is equal to 1,440. Ano yung n natin? So, n is the number of the data given to you. So, paano natin siya kukunin? Kunin nyo po yung sum ng frequency. So, ano ba ang sum ng frequency? We have 10 plus 8 plus 11 plus 14 plus 17. That would give you, okay, that would give us 60. So, sulat natin dito para alam kung saan kinuha. Yan, 60 yan, ha? Diyan po yan galing. Inad po yung frequency. So, the only thing that we are left to do is to divide. 1,440 divided by 60, that would give us 24. Okay? That would give us 24. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung mean daw po nitong group data na ito is 24. Okay po? So, isang example lang yung ibibigay ko dito kasi usually hindi rin naman po ito lumalabas sa mga college entrance tests. So, mahalaga lang po na ma-review. Okay? The term is review. Bakit? Kasi sa statistics and probability na subject, during senior high school na ituturo po ito. Okay po? Yan siya. Next one, paano naman pag si median? So, si median, kilala natin siya na ito po yung ating middle one or the central value, yung gitna. Okay, bakit? Ano bang ginagawa ni median? Si median po, dinidivide niya yung mismong distribution into two equal parts. Okay, dinidivide niya yung ating pong dataset into two equal parts. Kaya nahahanap niya po yung gitna. Okay? And it could be for group and group data. Katulad din po ni mean. Okay? So, group data meaning yung mga naka-tables yan, may mga frequency yan. So, ungroup data yung ibibigay lang sa iyo lahat ng data. For example, edad ng mga estudyante sa senior high school, 18, 18, 18, 19, 16, 15, ganun. Bibigay yan. So, yun po yung ungroup data. So, dito may dalawa lang tayo for ungroup data. So, sabi, if n is even, okay? Kapag yung n daw po is even, ano ba si n? Kung ilan yung dataset na binigay sa inyo. Okay? For example, you're given 5 dataset. So, your n is 5. Okay? So, kung for example, binigyan ka ng 6 na data, so your n is 6. So, that is an even number. Paano daw hahanapin ng median nun? So, to find the median of an even number of dataset, so find the arithmetic mean of the values at n over 2 and the n over 2 plus 1 possession. Okay? Kapag naman daw po n is odd, the value of observation at n plus 1 divided by 2 is your, okay, is your answer. So, let's have it. So, for example, dito, we have 20, 23, 25, 22, 28, 26, 36, 32, 31, and 38. Find the median. Okay? Hanapin daw natin yung median niyan. So, sabi, the first step is, okay, ako, ito dalawa, either of the two, kung anong gusto nyong gawin. Either ayusin nyo muna siya from ascending or descending order, or hanapin nyo muna kung pang ilang possession yung median niya. So, dito, ilang dataset ba yung binigay sa atin? We are given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We have 10 dataset. So, dahil ang 10 ay even, ano bang sabi kanina? Kapag n is even, you get the arithmetic mean of values n over 2 and n over 2 plus 1. So, dahil 10 po ito, so kukunin natin, ano ba yung n over 2 nito? Ang n over 2 po nito ay 5. So, yung pang 5 at yung pang 6. Kukunin mo yung gitna nilang dalawa. So, ngayon, alam na natin na ang concern natin is yung pang 5th and yung pang 6th position. So, ngayon, pwede na natin siyang i-arrange from ascending order. So, sino ba ang pinaka mababa? So, let's start with 20, followed by 22, 20, 22, then followed by 23 and 25. So, ayan, lagyan nyo na lang ng palatandaan para mas madali. Then, we have 26, we have 28, 26 and 28, followed by 31, 32, 36, and 38. Count ulit natin. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, ngayon, anong concern natin? Si pang 5th. Ito si 5th. At ito si 6. Anong sabi? Get the arithmetic mean ng dalawang yan. At yun daw po yung ating median. So, we have 26 plus 28 divided by 2. That would be equal to 27. So, our median for this and group data is 27. Next, a researcher records the following scores from a specialized aptitude test. You have 12, 15, 18, 8, 20, 15, 14, and 10. What is the median score of the group? We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? So, dahil 7 yan, okay? 7 is an odd number. And sabi kanina, when n is odd, value of the observation at n plus 1 over 2. Okay? So, we have n plus 1. Ano ba ang ating n? We have 7. 7, sorry. Ano nangyayari? 7 plus 1 over 2, that would be 8 over 2, which is 4th. Hanapin natin yung pang 4th. So, arrange na natin siya. Ngayon, kanina nag-arrange tayo ng ascending pataas. Ngayon naman, descending naman, pababa naman tayo. Sige. So, let's start with 20. Followed by, ano sunod? 15 and 15. Dalawang 15. Ay, sorry. Barayin natin. Na para bang gaganda rin naman yung sulat kapag binura, no? Sorry na. Then we have 14. Followed by 12. 14. Followed by 12. Then by 10. And then by 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7. Pero ang concern natin is pang 4th. Ito yung pang 4th. So, our median for that group of data is 14. Okay? Next one. So, ayan. Ano pa ba? A set consists of 8 different integers. If the median of the set is 15.5 and the fourth is 12, what is the fifth? Okay? So, ang fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ang pang-apat daw ay 12. Ang pinapahanap ay si X. O, dahil ito po ay even, binigyan tayo ng even na data set. So, we have 8 different integers. O, di ba ang pagkuha po ng median kapag you are given an even. Okay? Yung, okay, ano ba yung ginawa natin kanina? Di ba meron tayong yung n over 2 plus n over 2 plus 1 divided by 2. Di ba yan yung ginawa natin? Nth. Okay? Ito din nth. Kasi position yung pinag-uusapan dito. Okay? So, kung dito ay 8 different integers ang meron, so meron tayong, okay? Di ba yan yung dalawang kailangan? Huwag na nga muna ang formula sulat natin. Si n over 2, tsaka si n over 2 plus 1 na possessions yung kailangan. So, we have 8. 8 over 2, that would be 4th possession. Then, we have 5th possession. Okay? So, ang mangyayari, to get the median, okay, so median will be equal to the 4th possession plus 5th possession divided by 2. Di ba yan yung magiging formula natin? Dito, binigyan tayo ng median na 15.5. So, replace natin 15.5. Then, we are given the 4th possession which is 12. Si 5th possession gawin natin ng x. Then, divide by 2. So, dito, cross-multiply, papunta dito. So, we are given 15.5 times 2, that would give us 31. So, saan natin siya isusulat? Dito na lang. So, we have 31 is equal to 12 plus x. So, si 12, lipat sa kabila, from positive, magiging negative. So, 31 minus 12, that would give us 19. Okay? So, our fifth integer is 19. Okay? Let's check. Kung titingnan natin. Kung si 12 tsaka si 19 divide by 2, 12 plus 19 divided by 2, what is 12 plus 19? So, 12 plus 19, that would be 31. So, 31 divided by 2, that would be 15.5. So, 15.5, the same doon sa binigay kanina. So, tama lang na 19 po yung ating magiging sagot. Okay po, pinakita ko lang, kaya medyo mahaba ha. Pinakita ko lang yung mismong process, kung ano yung magiging thought process para makuha ito. Okay, pero syempre, when you are dealing with exams, kung kayang mas mapabilis, pabilisin po ninyo. Syempre, yung mga drawing ko dyan sa gilid, yung pagpapakita ng 4th and 5th yung kailangan, medyo unnecessary na siya kapag kayo na yung nagtatake ng exam. Okay? So, kung saan tayo mas mapadali, yun po yung ating gawin. Median group. Meron din tayong median group na tinatawag. So, kanina meron tayong for the mean ng group. Kay median meron din po. So, ito lang, medyo mas komplikado na yung mismong formula. So, we have here L, median is equal to L. Ano yung ibig sabihin ng L? The lower limit of the median class. Ano yung ibig sabihin ng N? Dun sa taas ng formula, that is a total number of observations. Then, we have the CF. Yung iba ang sulat dyan, hindi lang CF. Ginagawang CFB. Okay? Bakit CFB? Kasi that's the cumulative frequency of the preceding class. Other term for preceding class or could also be called the before class. Okay? Kaya po CFB, yun nilalagay namin. Then F, that is the frequency of each class and H is the class size. So, let's have an example para mas mabilis. So, dito we are given this group of data which have class 10 to 19, which have frequency of 5, 20 to 29, we have 10, 30 to 39, we have 12, 40 to 49, we have 8, then 50 to 59, we have 5. So now, the goal is to find the median. Okay? Pero syempre, ano bang una natin gagawin? Una po, kunin muna natin yung cumulative frequency. Okay? Pag cumulative frequency meaning, i-add mo lang po yung frequency. So, let's have here. So, syempre, si 5, dahil siya yung una, wala pa siyang kasama, wala pang nauna sa kanya. So, ang cumulative frequency niya ay 5 lang din po. So, next si 10. Anong gagawin natin? So, C5, add nyo kay 10, ang magiging sagot yun nandito. Okay? Wait lang, medyo light pala. Sorry na. Okay, so ayan. Etong 5 na nandito, add nyo dito, yung sagot mapupunta dito. Okay? So, 5 plus 10, 15. Ganon lang din po sa susunod. Anong cumulative frequency ng 30 to 39? 15 plus 12, that's 27. Kay 40 to 49, that's 27 plus 8, that would be 35. Then kay 50 to 59, that's 35 plus 5, that would be 40. Okay? So, ayan. Dahil nakuha mo na yung cumulative frequency, now is the time para kunin na ang iba pang value sa formula na meron tayo. So, unahin natin si L. Ano ang value ng L? So, dahil si L po is the lower limit of the median class, asan ba muna yung median class? So, to get the median class, tingnan mo yung anyong cumulative frequency, which is 40. So, 40 divide by 2. Bakit ko siya dinivide by 2? Kasi sabi nga natin, median ang hinahanap, yung gitna. So, 40 divided by 2. So, kailangan natin siya i-divide into 2 equal parts. So, 40 divided by 2, that is 20. Ngayon, hanapin natin saan pasok si 20 sa CF. Okay? So, ang pag-iisipan ng iba dito, sir, either kay 15 or kay 27. Okay? Iba, yan yung titingnan. Either 15 or 27. Bakit kaya 15 and 27 yung pinag-iisipan ng iba? Kasi kay 15, malapit siya kay 20, pero kulang. Kay 27 naman, malapit din, sobra naman. Okay? Mas okay na po yung sobra kaysa naman po sa kulang. So, anong kukunin natin? Si 27. Therefore, ano ang median class mo? Ang median class is 30 to 39. Okay? So, ang median class po natin ay 30 to 39. Okay? Ano ang lower limit? Ano na yung magiging L natin? L is equal to 30. Kasi ito yung lower limit mo, yung 30. Next, ano pang kailangan? Yung N natin, ilan ba ang total? N is 40. Okay? Kasi di ba yun yung ginamit natin kanina, yung total observations. Total data. Next, ano yung cumulative frequency before? CFB. O, kung 27 ang CF nung ating median class, ano yung before? So, yung before would be, okay, the cumulative frequency of before would have to be, okay, that would be 15. O, anong frequency? O, ano ba yung frequency ng median class? Ano ang frequency ng median class? We have here, that is 12. Ang sabi, frequency, hindi po sinabing cumulative frequency, ha? Then, H. Ano yung H? Ano ba ang atin class size? Paano kinukuha ang class size? You get the upper limit minus the lower limit. 39 minus 30, that will give you 9. So, ayan na. Meron na tayong lahat ng given. So, sulat na natin. Median is equal to L. Ang L ay 30 plus, okay, ang N ay 40. Pero na-divide na natin yan by 2, kaya 20 siya. So, 20 minus the cumulative frequency before, which is 15. 20 minus 15 divided by the frequency, which is 12, times the H, or the class size, which is 9. So, ayan siya. So, magiging 30 plus 20 minus 15, that would be 5 over 12 times 9. Okay? Wala na po akong pagkukomputan. As much as I want to show you the computations, you have to do it on your own. That would be 33.75. Okay? So, that would be the median. And, compute nyo lang po yan. Yung 30 plus 5 over 12 times 9. Okay? So, yan po siya. So, that is how you get the median of a group data. Next one. Paano naman pag mode? So, pag mode, sinasabi, di ba, ito yung maximum frequency. Okay, yung merong maximum frequency daw po, yung may pinakamaraming occurrence. Okay, so a dataset can have one mode, which is what we call the unimodal, two modes, which is bimodal, or multiple modes, which is what we call the multimodal. Pwede rin naman daw po na if no value repeats, the data has no mode. For example, tig-iisa lang talaga, walang nag-repeat. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, wala siyang mode. Okay po. So, ayan. So, for the mode of ungroup data, ito madali lang naman. You just simply check the frequencies. Okay? The data with the highest frequency term in the dataset is the mode. So, dito, for example, you are given, what is the mode of the given dataset? 5, 9, 11, 4, 3, 1, 9, 4, 2, and 5. Okay? Our mode for this one would have to be, okay, ano ang mode nito? Oh, sino ba mga umulit? Si 9 umulit, dalawa. Si 4 umulit, dalawa din. Sino pa? Si 5 umulit, dalawa din. Si 11 hindi umulit, si 3 hindi umulit, si 1 hindi umulit, si 2 hindi umulit. So, our mode is 5. Okay, sulat natin ng maayos. Our modes are 4, 5, and 9. So, ayan, tatlo pala ang modes natin. Okay? Pwede ba yan? Pwede po. Ito naman. Okay? So, we have here given the x. Dalawa yung given, ha? We have the x and the frequency of the x. So, kanino tayo titingin? Okay? Hanapin muna yung frequency. Sino ba may pinakamaraming frequency? So, may pinakamaraming frequency. We have 8, 8, and 8 here. So, that is 2, 3, and 4. So, for this data set, our modes are 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So, those are our modes. Okay po? So, ayan, medyo madali lang pagdating kay mode. Ang magpapahirap kay mode ay yung group data. So, basically, hindi naman din siya sobrang hirap, pero yan lang yung formula. So, mode is equal to L. L, pares pa rin. Pero kanina, instead of median limit or median class, ngayon naman we have the modal class na kasi mode nga yung pinag-uusapan. F1, okay, or H daw muna, sabi ng PowerPoint. H is the class size pa rin, wala pagbabago. F1 is the frequency of the modal class. F0. So, si 0, bago siya mag-1, di ba? So, kaya po, ano ibig sabihin nun? Frequency of the class that proceeds or yung before the modal class. Okay? That's precedes. Not proceeds. Precedes. Next, F2 is the frequency of the class that succeeds. Or ito naman yung after. Kasi si 2 after ng 1. Di ba? So, yun lang naman siya. Okay? So, ngayon, let's have an example. So, for example, we are given this class intervals and the frequencies. So, for 10 to 19, that would be 5. For 20 to 29, that would be 8. 30 to 39, that would be 12. 40 to 49, that would be 16. Then, 50 to 59, that would be 10. Okay? So, una, paano malalaman kung sino ang modal class? Modal class, kung kanina kay median class, ang gagawin mo, you divide the total number of frequency divided by 2. Kay modal class po, ang gagawin mo lang, you get the class with the highest frequency. So, dito, ang may highest frequency, itong kay 16, which is 40 to 49. So, our modal class is 40 to 49. Okay? Next, you get the L. Ano ang lower limit? We have 40. What is our H? Okay? To get the H, bakit ba capital letter H to? To get the class size, we have 49 minus 40. That will be equal to 9. Next, F1. The frequency of the modal class. The frequency of the modal class is 16. The frequency of the class before, that would be 12. The frequency of the class after, that would be 10. Okay? So, ayan na siya. So, pwede na natin siya ilapat sa formula. So, the mode is equal to L. L is 40. Okay? Plus F1 minus F0. F1 is 16 minus 12 divided by 2F1. So, that's 2 times 16 minus F0 which is 12 minus F2 which is 10. Okay? Times the H. H is 9. So, meron tayong 40 plus 16 minus 12, that would be 4. 2 times 16, that's 32. Minus 12 tsaka 10, that's 22. Times 9. So, that would give us 40 plus 4 over 10 times 9. Okay? So, that would give you 4 over 10 times 9, that would be 40 plus, okay, that would be 36 over 10. Okay po. So, that would be 40, para mag-over 10 siya, magiging 400 plus 36 over 10. So, that would give you, sorry, dito na lang sa taas, 436 over 10, which is equal to 43.6. Okay? So, our mode for the group data is 43.6. Okay po? So, ayan po siya. So, ngayon, meron din tayong tinatawag po na empirical relationship between the three. Kasi they are connected naman yan, tatlong yan. So, ito, there are questions kasi, bibigyan ka ng mean, or bibigyan ka ng mean, tsaka ng median, pinapahanap si mode. Meron ding question, bibigay yung mode, tsaka yung median, pinapahanap si mean. Paano gagawin mo doon? So, ito yung empirical relationship na tinatawag. We have here 2 mean is plus mode is equal to 3 median. So, in a moderately skewed distribution of laboratory results, the mean is 15 and the median is 13. Using the empirical formula, what is the estimated mode? So, dito natin siya gagamitin. So, sabi, 2 mean plus mode is equal to 3 median. Ano ba yung mean? We are given 15. We are also given 3 median or 13 na median. So, substitute muna natin siya sa formula. So, 2 times 15 plus mode is equal to 3 times 13. Solve muna natin. 2 times 15, that would be 30 plus mode, which is equal to 39. So, ito, lipat natin sa kabila para si mode ay mapag-isa. So, magiging mode is equal to 39 minus 30. So, our mode would be roughly 9. Okay? So, ayan po siya according to empirical relationship. Ganyan siya gagamitin. Let's have another example. A data set has a mode of 20 and a median of 18. What is the estimated mean? Mean naman ang pinapahanap. Di ba ang ating formula ay 2 mean plus mode is equal to 3 median. Substitute tayo sa formula. Our mode is 20. 20. Median is 18. 2 mean. So, 3 times 18, 20 is equal to 54. So, lipat natin to sa kabilang side. So, we have 2 mean is equal to 54 minus 20. So, we have 2 mean is equal to 34. Then, divide both sides by 2. So, we have mean is equal to 17. Okay? So, by just simply using the empirical relationship of the mean, median, and mode, okay, yung mga central tendency na ating tinatawag, nakuha po natin, okay, by using the mode and the median, nakuha natin si mean. Okay? So, tandaan nyo lang yung formula na yan. 2 mean plus mode is equal to 3 median. So, baka lang kailanganin, lumabas sa exam, mas madali. Okay? Mas kaya nating masagutan. So, next, measures of variability or dispersion. So, kung kanina, the measures of central tendency would give you the central idea, yun nasa gitna. Si measures of variability or dispersion naman ay pinapakita kung gaano kalayo yung isang data from another data, gaano kalawak yung sakop ng dataset. Okay? So, ayan. Yung dispersion nga. Kaya siya tinatawag na measures of dispersion. Okay? Kung gaano kalawak yung sakop nila. So, dito, this measures of variability or dispersion describes yung mga data points, okay? Kung gaano sila kakalat, spread out or scattered doon sa, okay, yung mga data na yon. So, they provide critical insights into the reliability. Okay? So, reliability, consistency, and diversity of the data. Kasi, for example, you have your exam, okay? So, aalamin yung measures of variability or dispersion, makikita na gaano ba kakalat yung mga scores ninyo. Lahat ba ay matataas? Or iba-iba yung scores? Marami bang mababa? Ganto, ganyan. Okay, yung highest to lowest ba? Gaano kalawak yung gap between the two? Or dikit-dikit lang ba? Halos lahat ba talaga ay matataas ang scores? Okay? So, ayan. Ayan po ang pinag-uusapan ng variability and dispersion. Okay? It's either, okay, variability differ from each other or from the central value, the mean or the median. Gaano kalayo yung mga data from each other or from the mean or the median. So, for the common measures of variability, we have the range, variance, standard deviation, and the IQR or the interquartile range. Okay? So, dito, the simplest one is the range. So, the simplest measure of variability, it is the difference, simply the difference between the maximum and the minimum values in a dataset. So, kaya nga nakalagay lang dyan, range is equal to the max, which is an x, minus the mean, which is an x as well. So, for example, you are given a student score in 5 science quizzes or 85, 92, 78, 85, 88, and 95. What is the range of the scores? Anong gagawin? Kunin mo yung highest. Ang highest na score niya ay 95. Ang lowest niya ay 78. So, to get the range, we have 95 minus 78. That would give us 17 as the final answer for the range. Okay? So, yan po yung range niya. Para saan ba si range? Tinitingnan lang niya yung difference. Kung gaano kalayo yung pinakamataas na value doon sa pinaka mababang value. Kasi doon makikita mo na, okay, for example, yung range nila 5 lang. Okay, so magkakalapit yung scores kasi yung range, yung layo nung highest sa lowest, konti lang. Ito medyo malaki yung range which is 17. Kasi nga naman, for example, magkakaroon ka ng grade, highest mo 95, tapos biglang may isang subject na magbibigay sa'yo ng 78. Okay, makikita na mayroon possible na may gap, okay, malaking gap from your highest to the lowest grade that you receive. Okay? Next, variance. So, si variance po, it measures the average square distance of data points from the mean. It is simply the square of the standard deviation and is denoted as, okay, ang symbol po na yan. Ang tawag ko dyan sa amin ng mga estudyante ko, yung bilog na may buntot sa taas na may squared. Okay? So, ganyan namin siya tawagin. Kung mapapansin, si variance at si standard deviation po ay halos they are connected. Okay? Kasi kung mapapansin, anong symbol naman ni standard deviation? Bilog na may buntot sa taas. Sinong nawala? Yung squared. Okay? So, paano kung may binigyan ka ng standard deviation, gusto mong kunin ng variance? E di i-square mo lang yung standard deviation mo, kung na si variance. Paano naman pag binigyan ka ng variance, gusto mong kunin yung standard deviation, kunin mo lang po yung square root ng variance mo, kung na si standard deviation. Dito, students, I won't give you the solving na kasi hindi rin naman siya malabas and also medyo malayo. And yan, I believe na naituro din ito. Okay? So ngayon, I'll give you some questions para saan ba natin or ano ba yung mga usual questions na lumalabas for the measures of variability. or dispersion. So for example, this one. A data set of exam scores has a high variance. What does this imply about the performance of the students? A. All students scored exactly the same. B. The scores are tightly clustered around the mean. C. The scores are widely spread out from the mean. Or D. The mean score must be very high. Okay? So, tandaan, if we are talking about variance, okay, high variance. So, ito ay about sa variability. Tama? So, dahil variability ang pinag-uusapan, hindi kasama ang central tendency. So, sino ang unang mai-X? Ito. The mean score must be very high. Kasi hindi ka naman, tandaan na si mean po ay manggagaling sa measures of central tendency. So, hindi mo pwedeng mahanap or hindi mo pwedeng masabi na kung mataas ba o mababa yung mean by just having your variance. Okay? So, next, meron ka na lang na all students scored exactly the same. Meron ka ding scores are tightly clustered around the mean. The scores are widely spread out from the mean. So, ito, ang susunod mong tatanggalin dito, ito I'm giving you the idea ha. Paano ba tayo nagtatanggal ng choices, lalo kung hindi mo alam yung sagot talaga. Dahil binigyan ka ng high variance. Okay? Pag sinabing high or low ang variance, ibig sabihin magkakaibang scores. Tama? Kasi variance nga eh. Sabi kanina, di ba? Standard deviation measures the average distance of data points from the mean. Okay, variance nakalagay. Variance measures the average squared distance of data points from the mean. So, ibig sabihin, kung may mataas or mababa kang variance, ibig sabihin may distance. Okay? May distance. Doon sa scores na meron. Tama? Okay? So, dito, dahil sinabi na there is a high variance, kunyari nakalimutan mo, ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng high variance? Ito ba yung malawak yung distansya o medyo dikit-dikit? For example lang ha, nakalimutan natin. Your only option would be B and C. These are your two options only. Kung manghuhula ka, B or C. Sir, bakit hindi si A na all students scored exactly the same? Hindi po si A. Bakit? Kasi mayroon kang high variance. Ibig sabihin, mapa-high or low man yan, ibig sabihin hindi sila pare-parehas ng score. 'Di ba? Kasi nagkaroon ng variance eh. Variance, pagkakaiba. Dahil nagkaroon ng pagkakaiba, ibig sabihin hindi sila pare-parehas. Ang problema mo na lang, tightly ba or wildly spread? Okay? Ito po ang ating tatandaan. So, dito, mathematically speaking, students, kapag BNC na lang yung pinangahawakan mong sagot, you're now 50% chance na tatama ka sa score mo. Nag-start tayo with 25%. Binawas natin si letter D, yung the mean score must be very high. Kasi sabi natin na that is for the central tendency. That's not for variability. So, nung tinanggal mo yan, you have now 33.33% chance na tatama ka. Pero hindi pa rin tayo magsisettle doon na even though na tumaas yan. As much as possible, we settle with 50% chance. So, doon naman natin sunod na tinanggal si A. All students scored exactly the same. Kasi nga, mayroong ngang variance. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pare-parehas. Kaya si A tinanggal natin. Now, we are down to 50% chance na tatama ka. B and C na lang yan. Okay? So, alam natin na mas mataas ang variance, mas malawak ang spread. Mas iba-iba ang score. Okay? Yun po ang tatandaan natin. Sulat natin dito ha, para hindi tayo nalilito. High SD, standard deviation or variance. Mas mataas ang SD or variance, spread out. Okay? Low SD or variance. Clustered tayo. Dikit-dikit. Okay po? Ano bang ibig sabihin kapag spread out or malawak in distance ng mga scores? Ibig sabihin po, mas iba-iba, inconsistent ang score. Okay? May mga sobrang high ang standard deviation or variance, May mga estudyante na sobrang perfect or perfect yung exam, sobrang pasado, sobrang taas ng exam. May mga estudyante rin tayo na bagsak. Okay? Kasi malayo yung distance eh. Kapag low standard deviation naman or variance, kung mataas yung isang estudyante, dahil low SD or variance yun sa klase nila, ibig sabihin halos lahat sila matataas. Pero, pwede rin naman na yung isa mababa, so lahat sila mababa. Kasi, dikit-dikit nga yung score nila. Okay? So, yung low SD, high SD would not give you the idea kung mataas ang mean score or hindi. Sinasabi lang niya kung magkakalapit ang score or hindi. Okay? Next one. Two groups of students took a math quiz. Both groups had a mean score of 85. Parehas silang, yung dalawang grupo ng estudyante, nag-quiz sa math. Parehas silang may mean score of 85. Group A has a standard deviation of 2, while Group B has a standard deviation of 8. Which of the following is true? A. Group B's score are more consistent. B. Group A scores are closer to the mean. Group C. Letter C. Group A has higher range than Group B. D. Both groups performed identically. Okay? And now, ganun ulit tayo. Magbawas ulit tayo ng options ninyo. Una, both groups perform identically. Kisin mo na to. Bakit? Yes, they both got 85 as the mean score, pero magkaibang standard deviation. Yung isa 2, yung isa 8. Hindi naman parehas yung dalawa. Tama? So, X na po agad. Next, ano pa ang i-X natin? Letter C. Group A has a higher range than Group B. Ibang usapin si range kay standard deviation at kay variance. Kasi si range, higher minus lower lang. Okay? Higher, lower lang si range. So, hindi siya maibibigay using the standard deviation and the variance. So, si C, X na rin po. So, we only have two options. That is either letter A, Group B score are more consistent. Letter B, Group A score are more closer or are closer to the mean. Okay? Ano ba sabi natin kanina? The higher the SD or the variance must spread out. The lower the SD or the variance mas clustered. Pag clustered, consistent. Kapag uh, kapag spread out, inconsistent. Okay? Oh, let's check letter A. Group B scores are more consistent. Kung titingnan, sino mas mataas ang standard deviation? A or B? Si letter B. So, sabi natin, the more na mataas ang standard deviation mo, the more inconsistent ka. So, letter A is not the answer as well. The answer is letter B. Okay? Kasi standard deviation ang binigay, so possible din na malaman natin how closer it is to the mean. Okay po? So, ayan, yung distance nila. Okay? Kasi closer, distance ang pinag-uusapan natin. Next, if the variance of a set of experimental results is 0.49, what is the standard deviation? Is that letter A, 0.07, letter B, 0.70, letter C, 4.9, or letter D, 0.245? Okay? Oh, tandaan natin, kay variance, ang symbol, bilog na may buntot, may squared. Si standard deviation, bilog na may buntot. Ang binigay sa atin, variance. So, ito siya. That is 0.49. Paano mawawala tong squared? Anong gagawin natin? Lagyan natin ng square root si 0.49. Square root of 0.49, that would be 0.70. Okay? So, okay? Do we have... So, ayan po siya ha. So, 0.49 square root of 0.49, that would be 0.70. Okay po. Next one. Class A and Class B took the same science exam. Class A, a mean score of 80, has a standard deviation of 4. Class B, mean score of 80, has a standard deviation of 12. May pagkakaiba na naman. Based on this information, which class can be said to have better performance overall? Class A, because their scores are more consistent around the mean. Letter B, Class B, because they have wider spread of scores. Letter C, both classes because they have the same average score. Or letter D, neither class because the standard deviation cannot be compared. Okay? Bawas ulit tayo ng option. Letter D, tanggalin na natin. Kasi alam natin na ang standard deviation can be compared. Pwede mo pang compare yan. Si letter C din. Okay? Even though they have the same average, okay, doesn't mean na parehas ang performance niyan. Either A or B ang sagot. Okay? So, letter A, Class A, because their scores are more consistent around the mean. Mas consistent nga ba si letter A, Class A? So, si Class A, standard deviation of 4. Si Class B, standard deviation of 12. Mas mababa yung kay A, therefore, mas consistent around the mean si A. Pero tingnan muna natin yung letter B. Class B, because they have wider spread of scores. Di ba nga, kapag mas ma-wide ang spread ng scores, na possible, yes, may mga matataas, pero there's also a possibility na may sobrang bababa. Therefore, letter B is not the correct answer. So, our correct answer is letter A. Okay? Kasi mas consistent around the mean ang Class A. Kasi mababa ang kanilang standard deviation. Okay? Next, si percentile. Sir, wala naman yung kanina sa measures of variability. Pero kasi kailangan po nating aralan yung percentiles bago po tayo pumunta kay IQR, si interquartile range. Kasi po, para siyang kumbaga prerequisite. Ganon. May mga concepts kasi si percentile na nakay may mga concepts kasi si IQR, na nakay percentile. So, yan lang. So, the P, yung P represents a percentile. Okay? Percentile is the value below which P% of the data falls. So, percentiles divide data into 100 equal parts. Bakit 100 equal parts? Kasi nga, di ba, percentile, percent, 100. Okay? Di ba, ang meaning ng percent is per 100. So, 100 equal parts po. Next, quartiles or special percentiles. Okay? Kaya po, prerequisite nga natin kung tawagan si percentile kay interquartile range. Kasi yung mga quartiles po ay percentiles din sila. Special lang. Bakit? Si quartile 1, parehas po siya kay 25th percentile. Si quartile 2, parehas kay 50th percentile. Si quartile 3, parehas kay 75th percentile. Okay? So, the median is always the 50th percentile. Lagi po yan. Na yung gitna, ito. Kaya nga dito, kung mapansin nyo, Q2, okay, is equal to 50th percentile siya. So, paano nga ba kinukuha ang percentile rank? Number of values below X. Okay, remember that word below X. Divided by the total number of values times 100. Example, what percentile rank do you belong to if you are ranked 10th out of 40 students? Ano nga ba ang magiging percentile rank mo kung out of 40 students, pang 10 ka? Percentile rank is equal to the number of values below X. Kung pang 10 ka, ilan yung nasa baba mo? You have 30 students below you. So, 30, okay, divided by the total number of values, ilan kayo? 40. Times 100. 30 divided by 40, alam natin that would be 0.75 times 100. So, you are 75th percentile. Okay? 75th percentile ka. Okay po? So, ayan siya. Next question. A student scored at the 72nd percentile on a college entrance exam. What does this mean? Letter A, the student answered 72% of the items correctly. B, the student scored higher than 72% of all test takers. Letter C, the student score is 72 out of 100. Letter D, 72% of test takers scored higher than the student. Okay? Oh, bawas ulit tayo ng choices. Ano ang una natin babawasin? Ako, letter A. Bakit? But letter A? 72nd percentile ang binigay. This is rank. Okay? We're talking about ranking. We're not talking about your score na naka 72 ka out of 100 kasi bagsak pa rin nga yun kung titingnan. 'Di ba? Okay? So, ayan siya. Next. Ano pa ba? The student score is 72 out of 100. Ito din, hindi rin to. Kasi once again, score ang pinag-uusapan. So, dito, natitira si B and si D. Bakit si B and si D? Si B ang sabi, the student scored higher than 72% of all the takers. So, ang pinag-uusapan, not the score itself, but comparison doon sa ibang nag-take. Okay? Si letter D din, 72% of the takers scored higher than the students. Ano bang pinag-uusapan? Kapag sinabi bang 72nd percentile ka, okay? Ano bang kinukuha? Yung mas mababa sa'yo o yung mas mataas sa'yo? Di ba ang kinukuha natin sa formula kanina, ng PR? Percentile rank is below X, tama ba? Divided by all, kung ilan, times 100. So, ang pinag-uusapan dito, the number below you. Okay? Not the people higher than you. So, si letter D, 72% of test takers scored higher than the student is not correct. Okay? Kasi ang pinag-uusapan nga ay below. Tingnan natin si letter B ba mag-fit sa below. The student scored higher than 72% of all the takers. Mas mataas si student kaysa dun sa 72%. So, ibig sabihin si student nasa taas, yung 72 below niya. Okay? So, the correct answer is letter B. Next. In a class of 40 students, Anna's score is higher than 34 students. What is Anna's percentile rank? Okay? Is that 80th? Okay? Is that 90th? Is that 85th? Or is that 34th? Okay? So once again, percentile rank is below you. Below X all over N or all over all. All. Ilan ba yung all na nag-take? Times 100. So, ang below kay Ana, higher than 34 students. Mas mataas siya compared sa 34. So, ang below her are 34 students. Ang lahat ay 40 times 100. Okay? So, si 34 over 40, that's 0.85. Okay? Try to compute it, ha? Okay? So, times 100, so that is 85%. Okay? 85% or 85th percentile rank. Okay? Bakit ayaw mabura nito? Sige. 85th. Ayan. So, 85 po yung sagot. Okay? So, paano naman daw po kapag binigyan ka ng value or hinahanap mo yung value given the percentile naman? So, anong gagawin? So, step 1, you arrange the data in ascending order from lowest to highest. And then, you compute the locator. Ano si locator? Locator is equal to P over 100 times N. Sino si P? Yung P po ay kung ano yung percentile rank na binigay times 100, divided by 100 times N. Yung N po ay kung yung N ay kung ilan lahat na nag-exam. Okay? Or ilan lahat yung data na meron. Okay? So, dun mo makukuha si locator. Then, step 3, if locator or the L is a whole number, the percentile is equal to the average of the locator and the L plus 1 value. While for kapag naman daw po decimal, i-round up mo lang yung the percentile. Round up mo lang. So, the percentile is equal to the next whole number position. Okay? Example here. The scores of 10 students arranged in order are 55, 60, 63, 68, 72, 75, 80, 85, 90, and 95. Okay? So now, ano ang gagawin daw po natin? You arrange the data from ascending order, highest to lowest. Lowest to highest. Sino ba ang lowest? We have 55, followed by 60, 63, 82, 68, 72, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95. Okay? Naka-arrange siya. Ascending order. Okay? So, sorry. Bakit nag-next? Ayan. Naka-arrange siya in ascending order. So, hindi na natin pakikialaman. Okay na yan. So, ayan. Step 1, arrange it ascending order. Okay na tayo. Then, step 2, you find the or compute the locator. So, the locator is, or the L is equal to P over 100 times N. So, we have 30th percentile divided by 100 times. Ano yung N? We have 10 scores of students. So, we have, okay, so we have 300 divided by 100. So, that is equal to 3. Okay? And that is a whole number. Tama? O, ano sabi kanina? Kapag whole number daw po yung L, ang gagawin daw po natin ay you get the average of yung location, nun locator, tsaka yung plus 1 nun. Okay? So, third, ano ba ang pangatlo? 1, 2, 3. So, ang pangatlo natin ay si 63. Ito yung third. Ano yung fourth natin? Ang fourth natin ay si 68. Okay? So, you get, add natin yan, divided by 2. So, 63 plus 68, that would give you 131. Divided by 2. Okay? That would give us 65.5. Okay? So, ayan na, si 65.5. Okay po? So, next, eto. The scores of 8 students arranged in order are 48, 55, 61, 67, 73, 79, 85, 92. What is the value at the 40th percentile? Okay, katulad lang din kanina. Naka-arrange na yan. Hanapin natin si locator. So, we have 40th percentile over 100 times 8. So, that's 320 over 100. So, that's 32. Oh, ba? Okay. Wait lang. Okay. That's 3.2. Sorry, ba't ba 32? That's 3.2. So, that's decimal. So, pag decimal, anong sabi kanina? So, pag decimal daw po, round off natin to. Okay? Ang sabi kanina, if L is a decimal, round up ha, hindi sinabing round off. Ang sabi, round up. Round up. So, ang round up nito would be equal to 4. So, yung pang-apat. Ano ba ang pang-apat? We have 48, 55, 61, and then 67. So, our answer is letter D, 67. Okay? So, ganun lang kadali si percentile. Okay? Ngayon, punta na tayo. Dun sa last measures of variability or dispersion, the interquartile range. So, IQR is a statistical measure used to describe the spread or variability of the middle 50% of a data set. So, ito, compared kay range, ito, mas hindi siya apektado ng highest and lowest kasi hindi niya kinukuha yung nasa dulo. Okay? Ang kinukuha niya ay yung nasa gitna, 50% na nasa gitna. Okay po? So, kaya ang formula for IQR, we have Q3 minus Q1. So, sabi nga kanina, si Q1, that is the same with your 25th percentile. Then, for the Q3, you have the 75th percentile or the upper quartile. So, IQR measures the width of the middle half of the dataset unlike the range. So, IQR ignores the extreme lowest and the highest lowest. Okay? So, for example, di ba? Kay range kasi, ito, di ba? Ito yung lowest, ito yung highest. So, sabihin natin na ito ay number line. So, ayan, yung highest mo to lowest. Kay range po kasi, ang kinukuha mo, itong dulo, tsaka dulo. Yan yung dalawa. So, kay ano ba ang kay interquartile range? So, for example, ito yung Q1, ito yung Q2, ito yung Q3. Ang kinukuha lang niya ay yung range nitong dalawa. Okay? Ni Q1 tsaka ni Q3. Ayun yung kay interquartile. Kaya po, hindi siya masyadong hindi siya affected ng mga extreme outliers. Okay? Hindi kasi siya affected ng lowest saka highest value. Okay po? So, paano nga ba hanapin si Q1 and si Q3? So, una, you arrange the order in ascending order or arrange the data rather in ascending order. Then, you find the median by finding the Q2. Then, that is the midpoint of the entire data set. Then, for the step 3, kunin mo na yung median ng lower half. Okay? For Q3, kunin mo din yung median ng upper half. Then, for the IQR, yun na. Q3 minus Q1. Okay? Or pwede mo rin gawin dito, hanapin mo, kasi tandaan si Q1 that is the same siya kay 25th percentile. Then si Q3 pareha siya kay 75th percentile. Dahil marunong na tayo kumuha ng percentile rank, okay? Kaya nyo na rin niyang gawin. Okay po? Kaya na rin yan. Okay? So, ayun. So, for example, we are given here, the scores of 7 students in a quiz are 12, 15, 18, 20, 24, 28, and 30. Ang bait pala ng pagkakagawa ko, no? Nakaayos na siya in ascending order. Okay? So, dahil nakaayos na siya in ascending order, para makuha natin ang interquartile range, we now get the median. Asan ba ang gitna? So, dahil ito ay 12, 15, 18, 20, 24, 28, and 30, ang gitna mo ay 20. This would be your Q2. Okay? Yan yung gitna eh. Okay po? So, ngayon, paano mo hahanapin si percentile, si Q1 at si Q3? Kasi yun yung goal mo. Na, wait lang, sorry. 12, 15. Okay, tama. Okay? Paano mo hahanapin si Q1 and si Q3? Yun yung goal. Okay? Yung kanina, di ba sabi ko, pwede nyo gamitin si percentile rank. Okay? Pwede natin gamitin si percentile rank. So, gawin natin, okay? Kunyari, gamitin muna natin si percentile 25. 25th percentile. Okay, gamitin natin siya. Hanapin natin nasaan si 25th percentile. So, for your 25th percentile, dito, pwede mong gawin, di ba yung locator, yung L is equal to the percentile given divided by the overall, divided by 100 times N. Okay? So, 25th percentile divided by 100 times 7. So, ano ang 1/4 ng 7? So, ang 1/4 ng 7 ay 1.75. So, that is 1.75. So, round up tayo. Ang gagamitin natin ay 2. So, si 2. Ito si 15. Okay? Next, hanapin natin si 50th percentile. 75th. Sorry. Si 75th percentile. So, locator is equal to 75 over 100 times 7. So, that would give us 3/4 times 7. Okay. So, the 3/4 of 7, that would be 5.25. So, that would be 6. Kasi round up. Asan ang pang-anim? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, 28. Okay? So, we have IQR is equal to Q3 minus Q1. So, ang Q3 natin ay si 6, which is 28, minus 15. So, that would be equal to 13. So, our answer is 13. Okay po? So, ayan. Gamitin natin yung kay, ano kanina? Ang tawag dito? Kay percentile na idea. Okay po? Para mas madali. Next one. Monthly savings. Okay? We have 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 500, 650, 800. Ano ang interquartile range? So, ayan. Once again, nakaayos na siya. Wala na tayong problema. Okay? Determine natin yung gitna. We have 9. So, yung panglima yung gitna dyan. 4. Ito. So, ito yung ating Q2. So, hanapin natin si Q1. So, that would be 25 over 100 times 9. So, that would be 1/4 times 9. Ano ba ang 1/4 ng 9? So, ang 1/4 ng 9, that is 2.25. So, that would be equal to 3. So, ano ba yung pangatlo? We have 250. Then, for the QE3, we have 75 over 100 times 9. So, that would be 3/4 of 9. Okay? So, the 3/4 of 9, that would be 6.75. 75, which is equal to 7. So, ano ba yung pang 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, that's 500. So, IQR is equal to 500. Tama ba? Okay. So, tama, 7. Tapos, 2.25. Tama ba? Okay. 2.25, tama. That's 3. So, 1, 2, 3. 250. Then, 7. Tama. 6.75. So, 7 siya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 500. So, 500 minus 250, that would be, okay, that would be 250. Wala lang siya sa choices. Okay? The interquartile range from the Q1, the Q3 to Q1 is 250. Okay? Wala lang po siya sa choices. Okay? Ano bang possible na ginawa? Okay, tama naman. Yeah. That would be correct. So, wala lang po sa choices, pero 250 po ang sagot. So, next one. So, charts and graphs na tayo. Okay? So, dito, more on lesson na lang, answering questions na lang tayo, ha? So, for the charts and graphs, this graph shows 18,000 wage earners in Taytay earned their living during a given period. The numbers indicate the angles formed by the part of each category in a whole. So, dito, students, mahalaga na tayo po talaga ay nagbabasa ng maayos. Kasi dito, ayan, kung makikita nyo dun sa table, may 25, may 60, may 90, may 45, may 120, may 20. So, kung hindi mo nabasa ng maayos, yung sa instructions, hindi mo malalaman na yung mga numbers na yon are not percentages. Okay? Well, obviously, hindi naman talaga siya percentage. Kasi may 120, may 90, may 60. Okay? Na kapag inad natin yung mga yan, hindi naman yan mag-equal to 100%. Pero pag inad mo yan, mag-equal po yan sa 360. Kasi nga, ang sabi dito, it indicates the angles form. Okay? Alam naman natin, pie chart nga yan. Okay? Pie graph yan. So, that's a circle. So, a circle has 360 degrees. Okay po? So, ayun. Number 1 rule yon ha. When you're dealing with charts and graphs, understanding, comprehension, attention to details ang kailangan. Okay? Now, we can now answer this one. The number of persons engaged in transportation in Taytay during this period was... ano ba ang transportation dyan? Transportation is 20. Tama? So, that is 20 out of 360. So, paano natin kukunin? Ilan ba ang total na tao na binilang nila? We have 18,000. So, we have here, to get the transportation, that would be the 20 divided by 360 times 18,000. Diba? Yan yung magiging ano mo. Bakit 20 over 360? Kasi po, 20 yung part na included si transportation, then 360 yung total. Okay? So, kung pwede nga yan, gawin mo 2 over 36. Diba? Kinancel mo yung parehas na 0 dito. Okay? Times 18,000. Okay? Ako, anong gagawin ko? Alam ko na si 18,000 ay divisible by 36. Okay? Si 18 at si 18,000 tsaka si 36, may number na pwede palang mag-divide sa kanila. Sorry. Okay? So, si 18,000 tsaka si 36, they are both divisible by 18. So, eto, divide ko to by 18, magiging 1,000 na lang to. Tama? Si 36 divide ko by 18, magiging 2 na lang yan. Tama po? So, ano natitira? 2 over 2, that would be 1. Times 1,000. That would be equal to 1,000. Okay? So, ayan, yung pagka-cancel po, pwede nyo po yung gawin. Yung iba naman ang gagawin, pwede 18,000 times 2. That's 36,000. Tama? Divided by 36, that is 1,000 as well. Okay? Depende kung paano po kayo mag-isip. Depende kung paano nyo po siya gagawin. Next po, this chart, ganun pa rin. Okay? Indicates pa rin na angles. So, based on the table, what is the numerical difference between the number for the others and the number for the personnel service? Okay? Dito, ang gagawin ko para mabilis ka mag-solve, ilan yung kay others? Kay others, meron tayong, we have 45. Kay personal services, we have 60. Tama? Minus ko na agad. 60 minus 45, that would be 15. Okay? Para si 15 na lang yung gagamitin kong pangkuha. Paano gagawin na doon? So, yung difference nila would be 15 over 360 times 18,000. Times 18,000 pa rin. Bakit? Kasi 18,000 pa rin ang tao yung involved. Okay? Dito. 18,000 tsaka si 360, they're both divisible by 18 ulit. So, divide ulit natin. Si 18,000 divided by 18, magiging 1,000. Tama? Si 360 divided by 18, okay? That would be equal to 20. Magiging 20 na lang ito. Okay? Actually, si 20 tsaka si 1,000, pwede pa yan. Bukasan mo ng isang 0. Si 1,000, divide mo by 20. Okay? Magiging 50 na lang. Tama? Ito si 20, magiging 1 na lang. Si 1,000, magiging 50 na lang. Kasi kinancel natin ang kinancel, pinaliit. Kasi tandaan, pagdating sa exam, kailangan mas mabilis, mas maganda. Tama po? Ano na lang natitira sa atin? Natitira na lang sa atin ay 15 times 50. Bakit? Kasi si 360, nawala na talaga. Si 18,000, naging 50 na lang. Bakit? 18,000 divided by 360, that would be 50. Okay po? So, 15 times 50, that would give you 750. So the answer for this one is letter B. Okay? O, students, sir, paano ka ba nagka-cancel na ganyan? Paano ba yan? Anong ginagawa mo? Kasi di ba yung 15 over 360 times 18,000, ano ba magiging itsura niyan? Di ba magiging 15 times 18,000? Oh. Di ba ganito magiging itsura niyan? Ayan. 15 times 18,000 divided by 360. Oh. Either of the two naman, di ba? Pwede mong unahing i-multiply si 18,000 kay 15. Okay, pwede yon. Yun muna bago ka mag-divide by 360. Pwede mo rin naman nang gawin yung 15 or yung 18,000, divide mo muna kay 360 bago ka mag-multiply. Di ba MDAS yan? Tandaan sa MDAS, MD. Okay, interchangeable yan ha. Pwede silang magkapalit, depende. Di ba? Kung sino nasa left and right. So, parehas lang naman yon. Okay po? So, ayan siya. So, ako, ang ginagawa ko kasi, dahil si 18,000 tsaka si 360, mayroon silang number na divisible silang dalawa, yun muna yung ginagawa ko. So, nagka-cancel ako. Para mabilis po. Kasi pagdating sa exam, medyo ang oras ay kalaban talaga natin. Yes, you need to take your time para ma-check kung tama yung sagot mo or makasigurado na tama po yung nilalagay mong sagot. Pero still, you also need to take in consideration na limited yung oras, hindi pwedeng ano ka lang, chill ka masyado mag-exam. Okay? So, pwede naman po. Pwede nyo naman gawin 15 times 18,000. Tapos kung ano yung makuha mong sagot, divide mo by 360, parehas lang po yan, 750. Okay? Oh, sir, bakit naman inuna mong i-difference muna yung dalawa? Nag-60 minus 45 ka muna. Hindi ba pwedeng kunin natin yung kay 45, kukunin ko yung kay 60, tapos pag minusin ko yung dalawa, hassle po yun. Okay? Hassle po yun. So, ang gawin nyo na lang, minus yung muna yung dalawa. Kahit kay percentage, nagwo-work to. Kunyari, 20% yung isa 30%. Tapos hanapin mo yung difference nila. Minus mo muna. 30 minus 20 muna, so 10%. So, kunin mo na lang yung 10% ng overall. Yun na yung difference nilang dalawa. Okay? Kasi mas mabilis po yun. Okay? So, next. The data below show the population of 4 metro cities in India at the beginning of the year 1990. If the most populous city has 40% female population and the least has 35% female population, then the difference between male population of these cities is closest to. O, ito. Kung titingnan, ito ay isa sa mga confusing na tables. Bakit? Binigyan ka ng data ng about sa babae. 40% daw dun sa most populous. 35% naman dun sa least populous. Bigla ang tinanong sa dulo about sa lalaki. 'Di ba? Babaeng data yung binigay pero yung lalaking data ang hinihingi. So, anong gagawin? Ma-minus mo na lang. Okay? Kung 40% ng most populous city ay babae, so 60% nun, lalaki. Doon naman kay least populous, 35% ay babae, so 65% nun, lalaki. So, yun yung gagamitin mo, yung 60 tsaka yung 65%. Hindi mo gagamitin si 40% at si 35% kasi madedehado ka niyan, pambabae yan, ang lalaki ang hinahanap. So, ano ba ang most populous? Ang most populous city we have here ay kay Calcutta. Kay Calcutta ay 10,570,005. Okay? O, tandaan, 5 yung dulo ha. Kasi halos pareha sila ni Bombay. Kasi si Bombay, 10,570,000. Yung kay Calcutta, may 5 pa na butal. Okay? So, anong gagawin natin dito? So, ang gawin natin, dahil ang hinahanap ay difference na naman. O, sino ba mas malaki? Okay? O, kunin natin, ilan yung lalaki kay Calcutta? So, we have 10,570,005 times 0.6. Bakit 0.6? That's 60% po. Okay? O, you compute it po kasi wala tayong masyadong pagsusulatan dito. Okay? Pasensya na. So, limited lang yung space. So, that would be 6,342,000. Okay? Double check nyo nga. 00. Okay? Kulang. Wait lang po. 6,342,003. Okay? Next, yung sa list naman. Yung sa list, meron silang 65% na lalaki kasi 35% babae. Ano ba ang may pinakakonting population? Si Delhi. Okay? Si Delhi ay may 7 million lang. Times yung ating 0.65%. Or 0.65 rather. Okay, ginawa nating decimal yung percent. So, that would give us 4,550,000. So, ngayon, you get the difference between the two. 6,342,003 minus 4,550,000. So, 4,550,000. Okay? So, that would give us 1,792,000. Sorry. Nagkadikit-dikit na siya. So, that would give us 1,792,003. Okay? So, the closest answer is 1,792,000. Kasi ang sabi naman ay estimate. Tama ba? Closest to. Okay? Of these cities is closest to. Okay? Yun yung tanong. So, closest naman is 1,792,000. Okay po? Okay, the last one. The bar graph below shows the percentage distribution of total expenditures of a company under various expense heads during 2003. What is the ratio of the total expenditure on infrastructure and transport to the total expenditure on taxes and interest on loans? So, ano ba dito? Anong meron tayo dito? Ratio. Okay? Ang hinahanap is what is the ratio of the total expenditure on infrastructure and transport to the total expenditure on taxes and interest on loans. So, ilan ba si infra? Si infra ay, wait lang, infra 20. Tapos, si transport 12.5. Next, si tax 10. Si interest is 17.5. So, ngayon, ratio daw nila. So, ang partner ay si infra tsaka si 12.5. So, 20 and 12.5 is 2. Di ba ratio proportion to? So, ayan. Okay? So, ayan, dahil partner sila, sorry. Dahil partner sila, okay, we have 20 plus 12.5. Sorry. 12.5 is 2. 10 plus 17.5. So, we have 32.5 is to 57. 27, sorry. 57. 27.5. Okay? So, ayan. 32.5 is to 27.5. Sir, wala namang ganyan sa sagot. Okay? Si 32.5 tsaka si 27.5, okay, are both divisible by 2.5. Okay po? They're both divisible by 2.5. Divide natin by 2.5. Okay? So, ayan. 32.5 divided by 2.5, that would give you 13. Then, 27.5 divided by 2.5, that would give you 11. So, 13 is to 11. Okay po? Sir, paano yan?
paano kung mas mahirap, paano namin malalaman kung pag may percentage? Una, gawin natin, tanggalin natin, I mean, magbawas muna kayo sa choices. Yun yung pinakamadali talaga. Kasi kung mapapansin nyo, itong 8, we have 5, 4, 9, 7, 8, 7, 13, 11. So, ayan, medyo mahirap tayo dito. Ayan, kung titingnan lang naman natin, di ba? Pero, ang pinakamadali na gawin dito is that, dahil may 0.5 dyan, pareha sila may 0.5, ibig sabihin pareha sila may butal. Okay? So, dahil parehas may butal, we have 5, 13, 8, and 9 sa umpisa. Si 5 odd, si 13 odd, si 8 even, si 9 odd. So, si 8 and 7, tanggal po. Kasi yung 8, odd, even. Okay? So, kung may 0.5 dyan, hindi dapat siya magpo 0.5 kasi may even eh. 'Di ba? So, 5 and 4, tanggal din. Bakit tanggal si 5 and 4? Kasi po, may 4. Eh, si 4 po ay even din po. So, the only choice left to you is 13 is to 11, tsaka 9 is to 7. So, dyan na lang magkakatalo. Okay, tingnan mo na lang kung si 13 is to 11 ba at si 9 is to 7, kaya mong gawing 32.5 is to 27.5. So, ano na lang siya, trial and error. Pero, ang maganda dun, you're now down to 50% chance na tatama ka. Okay? So, tandaan, kapag even po yan, tapos you multiply 0.5, hindi siya pwedeng magpo 0.5 sa dulo. Kasi even nga yan. Dapat odd po parehas kasi parehas sila may 0.5. Okay po? So, that will be the end. I think this video would be the longest video na meron tayo sa series ng Statistics and Probability kasi ito po yung pinakamahaba din. Okay? So, ayan, magkaalaman na lang kung sino mas mahaba. Okay, yung video 1 o ito ba? Okay? So, yun lang po. Maraming salamat po sa pakikinig. Sana ay may natutuhan po kayo ngayong araw na ito. And yun, I hope makapasa kayong lahat sa college entrance test and sa mga scholarship exams na iti-take po ninyo. So, yun lamang po. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. Once again, ito po si Sir Arvin Bautista. If you have questions, clarifications, pwede nyo naman sigurong i-raise yan sa Smile Taytay Training Institute team. Okay? Baka naman makarating sa amin. Or sa final coaching, if kaya pang maghintay. Okay? So, yun lang po. Maraming salamat po ulit. Ingat po kayo palagi. Thank you!